Welcome, everybody, to Celebrate Life with AriseDaughter.org. I am super excited to be interviewing my family, my cousins, Eric and Tehenesia Bass today. We're going to be talking a little bit about their love story and what it means to have strong love. All right. Hey, Eric, Tehenesia, glad to see y'all this
Hey,
evening. All
how's
right.
everybody?
Oh, listen, people going to be excited about y'all's story. Tell us a little bit
We hope
about how
so.
y'all how y'all fell in love.
Ooh. Let's see. That goes way, way back. 20, almost 30 years. We met in Spanish class in high school. And she and my best friend in that time, which was a young lady, became friends, and I actually kind of interjected with them passing notes, and they were talking about, they had a code word for me, and it was at that time the cologne that I was wearing, and it was called Obsession. And somehow the note got passed to me, and I already had my eye on, you know how you do. But either way, I got the note passed to me instead of directly to my friend, and it said something about Obsession's looking good today. So Obsession. Now I thought about it, but anyway, we after that we just kept in close contact, and even while I was in the Marine Corps, we I would see her every time I came home, or every other time when I came home, and just became something I was looking forward to when I would come back home on my leave. And is there anything that you like to add?
Basically, it seemed like we just bumped into each other like every 4 years. But this last time when we bumped into each other, he didn't leave. He just kept calling and kept coming back the next day. And I was like, just wondering, something, it was different. I was like, now what is really going on here? Normally we just kind of meet, hey, bye. But this time he kept calling and kept texting and calling, and eventually we started dating, and before we knew it, I think I say I love you first?
Sure you did.
I think I did.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I did. I was hesitant, but he told me he loved me back. And that's been so many years ago. That's been about 12 years ago now. And it just flowed from that point.
You know what I love about your stories? It sounds like you guys started off on a really firm foundation of friendship. And I know a lot of times that's super, super important to start from that. When did you figure out you had a strong connection as a couple?
Oh, wow.
We would text each other at the same time. It was almost simultaneously we would text each other that we were thinking of each other. And then all of a sudden, we started thinking the same thoughts. I could say something and he would be like, I was thinking the exact same thing at the exact same moment. Or what else you want to elaborate?
No, what I was going to say was when, excuse me, when we were dating, I was working out of town, and I had not been on vacation for a while, but I needed a vacation, and she actually felt that, and she asked me, where would I like to go on that weekend? And I was like, go where? For what? What would I do? She actually pulled me out to start vacationing and enjoying myself. So what we did was, she said, let me know. And what I did, I woke up one morning and just popped up and saw an infomercial about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It said Orange Beach. And I told her, I was like, listen, I'm gonna go to Orange Beach. She was like, where's that? I said, I don't know. But we put it in Google Maps and we found it. We went there and we enjoyed it. And it's Perdido Beach Keys, just for those of you that like to travel and enjoy life. It's an awesome place. And we go back there and it's like home. But that's where we took our first trip to. When we first started dating. And I was on the balcony and I looked out and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I'm able to come here again. I want to get married here. This is what I said. Not
No,
knowing
he really
that.
said, I'm gonna marry you here.
I think that's what she heard. But either way, I said I was gonna come back here and get married. Not knowing that it would be with her.
You knew.
5 years later, we came back, we got married, and it's just been, I can't say it's been, a great, of course, everybody has their ups and downs, but it's been a wonderful journey since then. We go back and those guys remember us. And it's just awesome.
This is amazing because, so many couples could have just settled for good enough. Y'all could have settled for just living together and just kicking it and enjoying life and this and that. But you saw marriage as your goal. Talk to us about why marriage was important. And Eric, I want to hear from you first about this. Why was marriage important for you? Why was this woman worth that step?
Well, I've always been taught that marriage is part of God's construct. That's what we kind of set out to do. Excuse me. But I look at my aunt and uncle since I was a child. That was my guide. I mean, my Uncle Raymond and Auntie Bernice, they were my guides. And that's what I wanted my life to be like when I got old enough. I was like, oh man. For some reason, I wanted to go into the service. But their lifestyle was always, it was my pattern that I wanted to follow behind. And, it was after I went into the military, got out, and just kind of did what I was supposed to do as a young man. I wanted to get married. That was my next thing. It was like a bucket list thing. Let me get married. Let me find someone that's going to be there for me and I'll be there for them. And, and I mean, it's just something you and Raymond, or you and Vernon, my cousin, Vernon, as I kind of try to model myself after him. He's always been the wisest of anybody that I could just call on. And I want to try to be someone that can live up to that standard and that model. He's been someone that I've modeled myself after. Little does he know, since I was 5, 6 years old. But I also want to raise my kids up to know that this is what a man does. This is what you should find in life, is a woman that is a companion and a helpmate. And, you have fun with everything you do. But once you find this, everything else kind of falls in place.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And I think it's important when you talk about raising your children with values. I know that you guys have a blended family and you've come together beautifully in making sure that each set of children is doing just as well as the other set. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah, we try.
we try.
Thank you. But we try.
Yeah. Well, so you've got a pretty exceptional young son. And so I just want you to tell me a little bit about him. I only know a lot about him only because I follow y'all on Facebook and I can see all of the just amazing stuff that he's doing. Tell us what makes him so special. Not that all your children are special, but I know he has a special mark on him.
Um, well, he's our youngest son, as you said. He's 13. Um, I've been DJing since I was in high school. So we're looking at well over 30 odd years. But what I wanted to do was I want to start a business again. I want to start back DJing. And as early as 1, maybe 2 years old, he would be in the kitchen in his diapers and pull-ups, listening to music and things like that. So he's always been raised up with music. She loves music. I do. So that's what we would do on Sundays, is listen to music in the kitchen while I cook or she would cook. And once we started the business, we did eventually start back DJing. And one day he came home and he asked me what I was doing. When he saw me on the laptop and with my equipment, he asked what I was doing. I was like, well, this is what I do to play all the music and, this and that. And he kind of gathered an interest from there. And as I explained to him what I was doing, he kind of got into it, and he actually kind of took the reins. And sometimes I even have to ask him for money because he's just been into it and he loves it. It's his passion, amongst a couple other things other than band and karate, but he loves music. And we've just tried to get him out there and show him, this is where you can make money. You want to clock in anyone else's, you want to clock into anyone else's business. You can be your own boss, make your own money. And like I say, he's 13.
He's a kid entrepreneur. And basically, he started out saying, you all have a playlist. I have a playlist also. So he asked us, could we listen to his playlist? Well, what he did was he took a mixture of his own music. He took a mixture of Eric's music. He blended them together and it was awesome. Wow. We was like, he knows what he's doing. We're going to add him to the business. He's going to be a kid entrepreneur, DJ MJ Styles.
One thing you shared with me, Tehenesia, was that he also had a kind of an unusual upbringing in that he had a wonderful daycare, a woman that took care of him. Yes. Tell us a little bit about
Miss Michelle.
How exceptional she was and how he was kind of growing up under her.
Well, first of all, Miss Michelle had a small daycare and she would not take anyone. She wanted to interview the parents. Once she did that, then she would accept the child. She instantly accepted MJ. And she had a way of, I wanted to still kind of baby him with a bottle. She said, no, he's almost 1. He's going to be on a cup. She made everything easy for him as far as the cup, potty training. But she also taught him as far as manners and language. And he will always say, that's a bad word. That's a bad word, mommy. Don't say that word. That's a bad word. And it wouldn't always be a curse word. It could just be something else, but he said that's a bad word. And that along with many other things, she taught him to the point where now, even though he's 13, he still goes back to the daycare. He goes back to her, take her gifts throughout the year. He still hugs her. She's like a second mom. And it helped as far as It made it easier for us with values and morals, and it has stayed with him. And I could not thank her. She was one of the best.
Wow. See,
I
that's the
can't
thing.
thank her
I think
enough.
when people have a support system around them that is godly like that,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
that you cannot beat that when it comes to raising your children. Your son is
No.
in the church and serving as well, I understand.
Oh, yes. He's heavily involved in the church. We are all, we love God. We worship. He, it's almost like he's trying to be in competition with us because he is more involved in the church than we are. He's on the usher board, the junior choir. He's on the devotion team. He helps in the collection with the money. He's almost like a little junior treasurer. He is nothing that he will not do for God. And it is just amazing to us that how he wants to be looked upon not just as a member, but he is a worshiper. He is a leader, and he believes in giving back and doing what he can. We were very shocked that when he got saved, and it seemed like a lot of kids there were not. And as
None
soon
of the kids there were. He was actually, I didn't mean to break in, but when we got there, there were a lot of kids that were there, but
they were not saved.
They had not been saved. They were not baptized. They were in the choir and all of this and that. But when he got there, when the doors of the church were open, he was the one child that stepped up by himself. And I think there was maybe one other child that stepped there that week.
But the next week,
there were like 6.
They joined board.
They all came right behind him. I mean, he spearheaded this entire thing. And that's when we found out that some of these kids that had been there for a while were not, they weren't saved, had not been baptized. They were just there running the gauntlet, but had not been, into it like that. So that was one thing that really it surprised me, and it made me proud because he stepped out. Mm-hmm. And he was a trailblazer as far as the kids were concerned.
He leads songs. He's in the choir.
Yes.
And he takes it real serious. He wants to be there on time. Me, on the other hand, I might be a few minutes late, but he likes to be punctual. He wants to be, the devotion service gets started. He wants to be standing there ready to start devotion. He wants to be there in the choir stand when it's time to sing. When it's his turn to get the mic, he wants everything to just flow perfectly. If they need him to help collect the money, he jumps down to help collect that. I have never seen someone so young but want to just
so full of fire.
Ignited. He gets ignited by God and to be in the presence.
Wow. So he has an anointing. He has an anointing. And, God has given you guys the tools to train him up in the right way, which is so important. Again, it's hard when when you're parenting.
Yes, it is.
But keeping them around the right people and the right influences, it sounds like that's been a key thing for you guys.
Yes.
That's what we're aiming for.
So tell me a little. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, tell me a little bit about some advice that you might have for young couples as they're coming up and they're raising their children and getting started and hustling and doing all of the grinding that you got to do when you're first starting out. What kind of advice might you have for them?
Listen to your child. Listen. Yeah. A lot of parents are so quick to just be quiet, shut up, go to your room. But you got to take a moment to listen. You got to take a moment to say, he has something to say. Let me hear what he has to say. And everybody has an opinion in our home. And sometimes he can be a little over opinionated, but I allow him to say it. But you gotta, number one, keep God first. you gotta also respect each other. We have to respect adults as well as the children in this house. So that is number one. I think we're not the old traditional type parents. We are, I think we're kind of up to date, new age, to where we allow them to be themselves, but at the same time be respectful.
Eric, did you want to add something to that?
I think she pretty much covered everything other than, you know, you still have to be that stern 70s and 80s parent, to the point to where you want them to be, you know, respectful just all the time. But as far as us, that's what we try to do. You know, we don't try to be like the 21st century parents, but we try to stay abreast of what's going on, because you have so many things that are challenging to our kids now, that were not as challenging as we were growing up, you know, as far as the games and
The internet.
you know, the internet and things like that. We try to stay focused, or at least acknowledge that. And we try to tell our kids that, you know, it's not far-fetched or something that's fake, but that's not what you want to focus on, because they're real goals that you can accomplish, you know, because, you know, these kids nowadays are on the internet and they're bullying. And what we try to do is get his mind situated for, hey, this is going to help you. And like I say, he's 13 now, in about 4 years, so he'll be graduating. So what's going to help you after you graduate? You have to keep them focused. And
We're his biggest supporters.
definitely.
He's not perfect now, don't get me wrong.
I mean, but we try to keep all the kids like that.
Yeah.
Even when I'm, even at my job, I try to talk to the kids that come through and tell them, you know, and social media is okay to a certain degree.
But use it for positive.
Use it for something positive. But in 4 years, your position in social media will change. Your position in the world will change. You're gonna have to be on your own. You're gonna have to, you know, try to survive and do things for you and your family. So we just try to keep them, you know, kind of focused on that.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel kind of bad for our kids because they have so much of a spotlight on them. You know, if somebody had cameras back in the day when we were doing what we were doing,
yeah,
it would be
they
frightening.
had cameras everywhere.
I
And he
know.
he was one of the first to tell me, I think, when they had cameras in the cafeteria when he was in elementary school. He was like, Mom, they have cameras in the cafeteria. Why? So they can see what you're doing. And then it went from the cafeteria to the classroom to now cameras on the school bus. And now we made him aware of how cameras are in the city. So it's always an eye on you. And we live in a small community, a small neighborhood. So we kind of be glad that, you know, he is, some of the people in our neighborhood knows him. And they'll be like, you know, if anything happens, we tell him, you know, you can still go to so-and-so house, go to this person's house. And sometimes social media can, and all these videos and everything can get in the way of old school values. We still want to let him know that you should still get to know your neighbor. You still need to go outside and play ball. Don't just let social media and ride your bike. Don't let social media get you torn away from being a kid. And don't be afraid of who's going to see you, because everybody has done something.
That is excellent advice. And then you guys getting him into the DJ aspect now. So tell me a little bit about your business and how he blends into all of that, and how that is just a passion of you guys.
It just goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that music has been a passion to me since I was, since I guess I was about 5, 6 years old. I actually came up, even through high school is when I take that back, middle school is when I started rapping, and junior high was a good time for me. And I stayed with it when I went to high school. And when I got in high school, I started DJing on a regular. I DJed for a couple of groups here. And even after I left and went to the Marine Corps and kept DJing, came back, worked for the radio stations. And then we kind of connected back. She loved music just as I did. And I wanted to start my business back. I started before I left. But definitely after I came back, I started back, and I kind of needed someone to kind of be there for me, to do my, if you will, H&R.
He needed a secretary. He needed someone to manage the money.
Yeah.
He needed someone to book the appointments. He needed someone.
So anyway, as I came back, I guess about 15 years ago, we got together and I ran the idea. I was like, listen, I want to start back DJing. We can make money with this. She was leery. She was like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think. It took about 5 years. 5 years. And I was like, why do you not understand that we can make money with this? Because families love to have reunions. People love birthdays and things of this nature. And eventually she came to me, she was like, well, let's start DJing. I was like, wow, really? So anyway, we started gathering our equipment, and I started showing her how it worked, and she started making CDs and things like that. I would take to my job and I would play at work, and people were like, oh, that's a bad CD. I like that CD. Can you make me a CD? And so from that, they actually gathered her confidence or built on her confidence. And we started.
I can DJ also.
Yes. I mean, she has an excellent ear for music. And we just started from there. And like I said, MJ was raised, he was like a year, 2 years old, dancing in the kitchen, listening to our music. And what he did was he had that playlist.
So now we are a family of DJs. It's really 3 DJs. Our DJ, Eric, DJ Bass, and our son, MJ Style DJs. But I tend to do more of the paperwork, the social media, the marketing. I tend to do a lot of the HR work now. So I kind of stay low key as far as me DJing, but I tend to let the guys handle it now. They're doing a great job. So we are on social media under Bass Entertainment LLC, and we're on Facebook on Bass Entertainment LLC. This is DJ Bass.
Flyers.
These are our flyers, DJ Bass. And you can find him on Facebook under Bass Entertainment LLC. And we also on Instagram under Bass_Entertainment_LLC. And you'll see videos as well as pictures. And this is our son, DJ MJ Styles. And he is also on the same social sites, Facebook and Instagram. And so if anybody decides that they want to book us for a family reunion, a wedding, birthday parties, retirement parties,
office parties,
we do travel. So we are located in Georgia, but we do travel to the surrounding states. And you can call me.
At 229-343-4800.
All right. And listen, when we get done with this video and it's posted, I want to make sure that you guys put all that information in the comment section so people can follow you guys. That would be excellent. I know another big thing coming up too is, a lot of the virtual family reunions. We had one this past January, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
So
wow, that sounded amazing.
it was so much fun. Our DJ was out of DC, and everybody joined in from all across the country. So
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
just
Y'all had that
crazy
vibe
how
going.
much you can do. Exactly, amazing. So listen, I just want to tell you guys, I love you so much, and I watch you. I've been
We love
fanning
you
you
too.
guys for a long time, just watching your love grow. And I just thank you that you are an excellent representation of what love looks like.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you so much.
We
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having us.
Yes. Well, so listen, everybody, if you want to celebrate life with us, just come on board, subscribe, like this episode, and share it with people that you know would appreciate hearing this story. Love you. Take care and have a
Love
good
you
one.
Love you too, Sylvia.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.